Hi, this is our Sexual Education in Adolescence campaign by Evan Beeson, Erica Daniel, Evan Hodge, Brooke Ripley, and Bella Sanchez. I'm Bella, and adolescence is a time of many physical and mental changes. The maturation of the body and adolescent sexuality are developments that deserve special attention, but there is often a lack of proper education on those matters. Common sources tend to be other adolescents, so other teenagers, their parents, TV, and social media, which combines a lot of false information, certain cultural values, and societal pressure that can lead to a lot of negative experiences. And it is clear that objective education and full disclosure is best for informed decision making and staying safe.
When creating our campaign about sexual education, the following theories were important for us to keep in mind. Piaget's theory of cognitive development, including developmental stages, formal operations, and active learning, as well as the gender intensification hypothesis, which includes social pressures, stereotypes, and relationship expectations.
Touching on the methods of our educational campaign, our campaign will be conducted at middle and high schools. We are targeting 7th through 12th graders. We want to make sure that young adolescents are educated as early as possible and that their education continues in the following years. For the time frame of our campaign, it will be one school week, and each day we're going to cover a new topic. And the materials that we developed ranged from worksheets to videos, infographics, and more. This is a simple lesson plan that outlines the days of our educational campaign and the topics that are being covered.
Hello, my name is Evan Hodge, and I'm in charge of day one of our campaign, Anatomy and Autonomy. Day one is centered around anatomical changes that students will experience during puberty. This chart is going to be used as a visual representation of what they can expect. I will start off by asking students what they already know about changes their body will go through, and going through the diagram, we will work our way through all of the changes, including body hair growth and increases or decreases in fat and muscle. Anatomy of sexual organs will also be included in this day. That plan is to simply walk through the two diagrams and teach about the functions that each part serves.
Day 3 is about consent and communication. So to introduce it, I have a video called Consent Explained that'll go through trying to define it and picturing it in different situations. And I've summed it up as consent is the agreement to participate in an act, and clear communication is needed to confirm that consent, and everyone has a right to give or revoke it at any time. And when sexual acts are forced onto someone that did not give consent, that is sexual assault, which is discussed in the second video, which goes through the prevalence of it in adolescents. At the end of that lesson, I have a worksheet that could be passed out and worked on. It just emphasizes how there are many situations in which one might assume that they would have consent, but that they cannot just guess, and it needs to be very clear. So they would look at the different instances on the worksheet and try to decide if the sexual consent was clear and valid, and then we could go over it together and they could ask any questions that they may have.
Hello, I'm Brooke Ripley, and I will be presenting Day 4, Contraceptives and Protection. To start the day, I'll hand out a worksheet and ask students to answer the questions as we move through the lesson. I'll also let them know that they can write down any questions they have on the back of the paper if they are uncomfortable asking them aloud. I will then show a video explaining how pregnancy happens in the body. Next, I will ask students to shout out which birth control methods they are familiar with or have heard about and write them on a whiteboard or a chalkboard. If they are missing any of the most common methods, I will add them to the list. I will then hand out a chart showing all of the contraceptive methods, including their effectivity, pros, and cons. This video shows how birth control works to prevent pregnancy. Lastly, we'll be talking about condoms as they are the only form of contraceptive that can protect against STDs and STIs. I will be handing out a few male condoms to each student and ask them to open one so they can look at it and become familiar with what it is, and they can either keep the rest or throw them away. We will then watch a video on how to use both male condoms and female condoms effectively and correctly.
Hello, my name is Erica and I'm covering Day 5 Risks. This is an important topic because adolescents need to be informed about the potential consequences following sex. They will begin with a worksheet that addresses multiple outcomes. The questions address pregnancy with regard to females, males, and the child, as well as common STIs and their characteristics. After filling out the worksheet, 2 videos will be shown. The first video, titled So You Think You're Pregnant, provides symptoms to look out for following unprotected sex, lists places to purchase a pregnancy test, encourages women to talk to a trusted adult and seek care at a proper institution, as well as describes the 3 options you have if you are pregnant and explains the pros and cons to each option. This video is short but educational as it provides girls with meaningful information to take into consideration. The second video, titled What Are STDs?, explains how STDs are transmitted, highlights the symptoms that can be accompanied with them, talks about the different ways you can go about getting tested, as well as encourages the use of contraceptives and getting regularly tested. This video is important because some adolescents may have misconceptions about what STDs are or how they are transmitted, so having this knowledge is beneficial.